Hi, I'm PC Russ Massie. I work with Thames Valley Police in Oxfordshire. Yeah, so one of the things when you become a police officer you don't realise is that at any moment something can happen and sort of just change your life really. We managed to eventually get him to drop the knife, and then I arrested him and put him in handcuffs, that kind of thing. You know, the sort of thing you see on social media where it looks horrendous. There's like 5 against 1 and there's four coppers against one poor bloke or something. It's kind of like that, but that's not really what's happening. What's happening there is you've got one person trying to do whatever they're doing, or trying to escape, or trying to hurt someone, whatever that intention is. But you've got all the police officers there trying not to hurt them. And I know it sounds funny, but it's quite an important nuance, because it takes more power not to hurt somebody. You've got one person holding their head to make sure they don't swallow their tongue or hit their head on the floor. You've got an officer on their arms, one on their legs, one trying to get the handcuffs on. So what looks from the outside to be a pile-on, it really isn't. It's trying to be a controlled way of stopping somebody hurting themselves or causing more harm. And that's what happened. He was arrested for attempted murder, and it turned out he had actually stabbed the woman who called us originally. He had actually stabbed her husband a few times. He survived, luckily, I'm really pleased to say, and he ended up being sectioned, going through a court process, but being treated for his mental health. And I remember just after he'd been arrested, and he was in the cage in the back of the van, and we were waiting to go to the police station with him. We were just sort of sorting things out. I remember actually getting 30 seconds to myself and making a phone call to my wife and leaving her a voicemail. Oh, the big boys came, I love you, I'm so scared. And what had actually happened was it's what's called an adrenaline dump. And the adrenaline in your body, when you're about to, or you think you're about to be hurt, all the adrenaline in your body comes to your major organs to protect you. And then once you're safe, whether or not you feel safe, once you are safe, your body relaxes that little bit. You might not realise it, but the adrenaline floods back out of you from your major organs back. And I remember my hands were shaking, and they were probably like that for about 3 minutes. And that's what it was, and that was the phone call, and that was the, oh, I'm scared. Yes, I was scared. I was really scared. But it was actually the adrenaline leaving me afterwards that felt as if, it's like I couldn't stop crying. It lasted for about, well, the crying lasted for about 20 minutes. The shaking lasted at least 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, and then in the morning I heard my message back, and it sounded really scary. So I had to apologise to her for being too scary. There's things about it that just don't leave you ever. And sometimes I think if you ever see us and we're out and about and we're dealing with things and if we're searching people, sometimes we might feel as if we're being really careful, and put it this way, I'm quite nervous even now if I hear there's an incident with a knife. I still do my job, I'm still professional, I'm still proud of the way that I work with the public, I'm still proud of the way that all my colleagues work with the public. But when I deal with an incident, I'm that little bit more wary, you know, once bitten, twice shy. And I think sometimes I still do the right thing. And the day I stop doing that is the day I stop being a police officer. That won't happen, but I'm still nervous with it. So please bear it in mind if you see us out and about. Just have a little think about what we've been through. It is just a uniform. It's not a force field.